What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the PPL. Now, this is the final week of the PPL. Hopefully, and what I mean by hopefully is I'll get into that in just a couple of minutes. This week we're playing Alex and Onesie Bayonet. He is in basically the same spot I am, fighting to stay in PPL D1. He won last week against Liam, I'm pretty sure. He won last week, and that's all that matters. If he beats me, and he beats me by more than a 2-0 or better, then he is instantly guaranteed safety. The problem with that is, if he beats me, I am not guaranteed safety. If I beat him, I am guaranteed safety after my win last week with Shroom, because that would mean that neither Frank nor RTK or Liam could catch me with their win-to-loss ratio, so I would be guaranteed safety. If I lose this game, I'm still in the hands of those other three people losing their last two matches. The problem is, I'm not going to know for a while if I'm safe or not, because while this is going up Saturday, while this is going up Friday, the match is going up Saturday, Frank and Liam are not going to be playing until early next week. So I won't even know my fate. So it sucks. It really sucks. However, let's just go ahead and talk about this week and the team that I'm going to be facing with Onesie Bayonet, my good buddy Alex. He has a very scary team. He has Victini, Mega Sableye, Zapdos, Escavalier, Marowak, Regirock, Whimsicott, Kyurem, Toxicroak, and Spritzee. Looking at his team, he's very weak to Belly Drum Azumarill. He has a couple things that can take a +6 Aqua Jet, like the Toxicroak because it has Dry Skin, and the Kyurem can take a +6 Aqua Jet, but however the Zapdos after Rocks it cannot. Everything else dies to Azumarill at +6, so that's something to note. His team also has very weird speed tiers. He has Victini and Zapdos at base 100, Whimsicott at base 116 or something, and then Kyurem at 95. What this means is that his team is super fast, however his team is also very adequate for Trick Room. Now, spoiler alert, the battle has already happened. I did not notice this. So, I did not notice this until after the fact that somebody mentioned it to me, and I was like, holy shit, that could have been a problem. So, when building this team, I did not think about that, and I probably should have, and that was probably a huge misprep on my part. But basically, his Victini and Escavalier and Regirock are huge threats. So is the Kyurem. The Toxicroak is a huge threat. The main things that are not huge threats: the Mega Sableye is not a huge threat. The Marowak is not that big of a threat. And honestly, I don't think the Spritzee is that big of a threat. I know that people might think it's a meme, but it's bulky as shit. So that's a thing. But that's basically his team. I kind of wanted to have fun with this game because both of us had this online, so if we both kind of sort of had fun with the game, it wouldn't be as stressful for us because it was kind of like a make or break type game. And I didn't want it to actually feel like that. I wanted it to feel like a really fun game between me and Alex because we're both really good friends. But let's go ahead and look over the team I brought. Now, the first thing I knew I wanted to bring was Azumarill. I wanted to have a Belly Drum Azumarill with a Lumberry because if he brought Mega Sableye, I wanted to be able to Belly Drum up on it as soon as possible and still take a Will-O-Wisp and be fine. This speed allows me to outspeed a 12 invested Regirock, and it also allows me to outspeed like a 102 speed invested Escavalier, so that's a plus. I can outspeed both of them and one-shot them pretty easily. This is just standard.jpg. The HP investment might just seem that I dumped the rest of it in, but I specifically knew that I could put 20 into speed because this means that if I Belly Drum up and he sends in Kyurem, he knows that he can live a +6 Aqua Jet and thinks he can take me out with a timid Life Orb Flash Cannon. Spoiler alert, he can't actually do that. Well, he can't take me out with a modest Life Orb, but a modest Choice Specs or a timid Choice Specs I think can. Flash Cannon can kill me, but with this HP investment it cannot unless he's the Choice Specs variant, and I can kill with a Play Rough and then proceed to Aqua Jet the rest of his team and kill it. that was my main thought process with that. I think it worked over pretty well, honestly, in team prep. It was more of a, I want to scare this thing right away, but if I don't see Mega Sableye, if I don't see things like Regirock, if I don't see all these other setup opportunities, this Azumarill is just useless. It doesn't do anything versus him because he needs to have the power of either the +6 or the Choice Band or the added bulk of the Assault Vest. So that's a little bit of a problem with this Azumarill set. The next mon that I knew I wanted was Garchomp, and I thought for sure that he would be bringing Escavalier. I have 0 switch-ins to Escavalier. Literally 0. Aside from like Alomomola, but I can't do anything back to it if he wants to be sub. It could just be a huge problem. Plus Alomomola then allows Toxicroak to come in, and then I have trouble dealing with Toxicroak. So I knew that my best way of dealing with his Escavalier would be a bulky Rocky Helmet Garchomp with Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet. It would really wear it down quickly if you went for like Mega Horns and Iron Heads and things like that, and I could take it pretty well. I also wanted a speedy one, so I could outspeed Choice Banded Victini, because I could so see him bringing like Choice Banded or Choice Specs. Actually Choice Specs Victini, because Glaciate, Energy Ball, Thunder, Fusion Flare, they all do so much to my team, so I fully expect a special one. Shadow Ball for Reuniclus, like there's a lot that Special Victini could do. So if he's Choice Specs, I'm going to be able to outspeed it, and I want to be able to completely bop it with a Stone Edge. I'm pretty sure that the moves that I actually used are different than the ones that I have on Showdown. I'm pretty sure I had Toxic, Dragon Tail, Stone Edge, and Fire Fang. I think those are my moves in the game. So I want to be able to bop it with a Stone Edge. And that's basically all that this thing was there for, was just to take hits from maybe a Toxicroak that's set up at +2, because he won't be able to carry Ice Punch, in my opinion. He'll need to have Sucker Punch, he'll need to have Drain Punch, he'll need to have, there was one other move that I thought he would have to have for sure. Poison Jab for Togetic, that's what it was. But basically this thing is just bulky, it's there to take hits and hopefully get off some chip damage. The one thing that kind of sort of sucks is that if I get up rocks and I try to switch him around with Dragon Tails, his Spritzy can come in, and that thing is actually really hard for me to take down because it's bulky as shit and I have to knock off its item, and that's kind of hard to do with my team because I don't have that many knockoff users. Speaking of Togetic, the next mon that I knew I wanted to bring was my Togetic. Now, this is a very strange set. Nasty Plot Togetic destroys his entire team. This thing actually doesn't get Air Slash, which kind of sort of threw me off guard. I thought for sure it did, but that's only Togetic. But Nasty Plot, Roost, Dazzling Gleam, and Flamethrower just completely decimate his entire team, aside from Victini. So, this special attack investment with a modest nature at +2 allows me to 2-hit KO Zapdos no matter what. Especially defensive, I 2-hit KO with Dazzling Gleam. The speed investment allows me to outspeed a pretty good invested Escavalier along with a pretty good invested Regirock. The Spadef investment allows me to completely live a Thunderbolt from a modest max special attack leftovers Zapdos. So if he switches it in and I get off like 50% with the Dazzling Gleam, then I know he's offensive, and then that means if he goes for a Thunderbolt, that means I can then kill him with the Dazzling Gleam the next turn, and I'm guaranteed to live one. I'm also guaranteed to live a Ice Beam from a modest Choice Scarf Kyurem, I think that's what it was. But that Speed investment allows me to live at least one hit from one of those threats and take it out right away and not have to worry about it. But I was so happy when I figured out how much work this Togetic does to his team. I'm hoping that it actually shows up to what I think it could do, because Togetic has been really cool this season to use. It's just been like a bulky pivot cleric thing, and I really like that in fairies. But the next mon on the team, I needed a solid switch in for Kyurem, and basically my only really good switch in for it is Reuniclus with Regenerator, Assault Vest, Spadef with a little bit of speed investment to outspeed the Escavalier with like 22 EVs in speed. HP Fire, Shadow Ball, Psychic, Energy Ball. Very, very self-explanatory as to why it's there. just a bulky special mon to take hits. It also allows me to take on the Zapdos pretty well, and the as aforementioned special Victini if he wants to bring that, because if he brings that and he wants to have U-turn and Shadow Ball, it leaves him to only have 2 other moves. One of them is going to be Glaciate for Garchomp, and then he has one other coverage move, and I would assume it would be a fire coverage for Stab. Or Energy Ball for Rhydon. But yeah, this thing is just overall fat and bulky, because a lot of his team is special, like for the most part, that I could take on. And then this also means that if he wants to kill me with his Toxicroak with a +2 Sucker Punch, he would have to be a +2, and I'd have to be at almost full health to live, but I could still live 1 and kill it with a Psychic very easily. But Reuniclus is just overall fat this game, and I really like it. The next mon that I wanted to go for was another Assault Vest user, an Electros with Acid Spray, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, and Giga Drain with max HP, max special attack, and 12 in speed. The leftover 12 in speed do speed creeps. Acid Spray is there because his main switch into this is going to be a special wall, more than likely his Spritzy. So if I can Acid Spray it, Thunderbolt does a lot of damage to it. If he thinks that his Zapdos is going to be a switch into it, Acid Spray, and then Thunderbolt does a shit ton of damage. It's insane. Giga Drain is there mainly for the Regirock, and then Flamethrower is there solely for the Escavalier and the Whimsicott. This thing just punches holes through his team. It's not a wall breaker by any means, but it does a lot of damage to his walls, and that's something to really keep in mind while using it. I don't have any Volt turns, so all of my switching is going to be hard switches, and that sucks, but that's the nature of my team, and that's what I pin myself into a corner with. The final mon on the team is the last sweeper that I knew could just do so much work against his team, and that is Rhydon. I so badly wanted to bring Double Dance Rhydon. Holy shit that I want to bring Double Dance Rhydon, but if I brought Double Dance, that means that I would lack on a coverage move for something, and I couldn't do that. So I'm just running simple Rock Polish, because if I can get up a Rock Polish, I can outspeed a lot of his team, including Zapdos and Kyurem and Victini. I'm also able to just completely decimate them with a Stone Edge, an Earthquake, or a Fire Punch specifically for Escavalier if he wants to switch that in. And the 20 HP investment, believe it or not, guarantees that an Adamant Thick Club Earthquake from a Marowak cannot kill me, so that's really cool. If I had to put in more, I was going to take it from attack, but luckily I didn't have to, so this is what I'm good with, and I don't like relying on Stone Edge. I hate it so much, but if I can get off big damage with this thing, I can get off big damage, and that's a plus. His team is generally weak to Edgequake as well, so that's something I also noticed and wanted to take into account for, but overall, I'm happy with this thing. It's powerful, it can punch holes, and I think it'll do a lot of work, hopefully. But that is basically the team that I'm bringing to my final game of the PPL versus Alex. As I said, this is a must-win game. If I do not win this, I'm still in danger of relegation, and that is super scary. I do not like that, especially since I might have to be playing Paul from D2, and he has a Manaphy. We all know how I am with Manaphy. I could just go to D2 without even playing. Just realistic, because he also has a Mega Pinsir and a Hydreigon and a Gardevoir. Like I'll just go. So hopefully I can pull out a win here, or if I lose, hopefully Frank and RTK can lose their last 2 matches. Hopefully, but if I go back down to D2, I won't be upset about it at all, or I won't be salty about it, just because D2 is full of amazing people, and they're just an amazing group, and I wouldn't be mad about it at all. But that's basically that. But yeah, that's basically where I'm going to end off the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please make sure to leave a like. Also, make sure you check out the description for a whole bunch of links down in there to a whole bunch of people that I'll be playing, like Alex, Titus for the thumbnail, and all those other people down there. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.